Hello guys, I am Fizzy and welcome back to another league race on F1 2016 AOR PC Split 1 Round 5 at Spain, coming off the back of an exciting first 4 races with me somehow sitting second in the Driver Championship and Renault, with myself and Race Fanatic also sitting second in the Team Championship as well, as we are now jumping onto my qualifying lap for the Spanish Grand Prix, where I didn't quite find the same sort of pace that I had in the previous few races. As you can see, I'm currently only P13 in the session with one lap remaining to try and improve on that, and missed the apex of turn 1 slightly as well. It's not been the greatest start with lap, 2/10 down on my previous effort at the moment, but that's just how it is. Spain, I don't know, I don't mind driving this track, but for some reason didn't quite find the best rhythm around here. Anyway, I'm aware that it's been a while since I uploaded the previous league race from Russia, and I can only apologize for that. Obviously it's been some busy times, and motivation for these things goes a bit up and down as well, so I've prioritized some other things in recent weeks, and I know many of you are also waiting for the next official highlights video from the Xbox League, and that is actually not my own fault really for them not being out. That is because it's been really hard, much more hard than usual, to get the two commentators together to actually finish those off, because I have already edited the Xbox highlights from Spain and Wycombs has edited the ones from Monaco. But enough about the Xbox League. This is about the PC League, and as you can see I only improved 1 position on where I was already, so a slight improvement, but still P12 not the best place to be for this race, even though it does mean I can start on fresh tires and try an alternate strategy, which is what I decided to do. Went on the hardest tires, the hard tires, for the start of the race, and as it turned out on the grid, I think I was the only man to do so. Everyone else outside the top 10 decided to start on the mediums, but obviously my strategy plan being to go from the hards on the mediums to try something a little bit different and see how it goes. But now we are about to start the race. We have started the race. We are already launched off the grid. Right behind Kellon we have a fast starting Burkhoff on our left side behind us. We just need to try and keep out of trouble going into the first corner. Got a car coming off the inside, quite surprisingly there, and then our teammate Race Fanatic was off the track, so he's had an incident further ahead, which seems to have dropped him all the way down to the back of the field. It's O'Don that's come up the inside, and then me just understeering so badly on these tires, allowing Burkhoff to slip through as well, and now under pressure from Marco FD, who's very much out of position based on where he usually is. Him also trying to go past me in his Ferrari, and now I'm actually bringing quite late into the next corner on the inside of Burkhoff, tapping the back O'Don slightly, losing the back end on the grass, really struggling to get the traction down because of that, dropping quite a bit of time, probably frustrating Marco a little bit behind me as well, because he will want to get himself up through the field, knowing his pace, and also being on the medium tires compared to my hards. But so far we managed to stay in the position where we started, at least, unless that's going to change with Marco now coming out the inside into the hairpin. I am leaving quite a bit of room, and not too much room for me on the exit unfortunately, which made me have to turn out a little bit, and Cool Cat's now past me as well. So basically all the guys who started on the mediums have come past me now, only Race Fanatic behind. So yeah, Renault, we might be second in the team championship right now, but currently in the race we are 15th and 16th on the track, so it's not quite been the best start to the race for us, it has to be said. But long way to go, 32 laps remaining. We can see some side-by-side action going on ahead as well. You can see the two cars of the commentators, which aren't being driven, of course. They're in the spectator cam streaming the race. For some reason the game still decides to spawn their car on the side of the track. Either way, still side-by-sides going on ahead, and Cool Cat passing O'Don there, who I think just lost 2 positions in that one. And a purple first sector, yes, look how fast we're going, although purple sector for everyone is going to be on the second lap of the race. But I have been able to close down the gap to O'Don again, so at least despite my tire disadvantage at the moment, I'm not being dropped, which is good to see. And Raven's had a problem, big problem there for ACR Raven, my old rival from Season 1 of AOR back in Friday League 1, for those who were around back then. If you were around back then let me know in the comments, and I will just, well, you're a legend basically if you were around back then to witness the racing that went on back on F1 2010, when even I was a noob and we're using the racing line and all sorts of things. But yeah, trying to pass O'Don at the moment. Well, I've been caught up in the pass a little bit, wasn't able to pass him on that occasion. Now on the end of lap number 3, getting close to him through the chicane, the very, very dodgy chicane, which I don't really like driving through, but it's going right. Wait, Race Fanatic was behind us. He's gone in the pits for an early stop actually, while I am trying to go past O'Don. Hopefully we can make the move stick on the straight. It looks like we can with DRS of course, and O'Don is slotted in behind us, so up to 12th position as it stands in the race on the hard tyres. And on this first stint, it's really all about just, I don't know, just getting as high up as we can, or at least not drop, well, avoid dropping as far down as we possibly could, and try to put ourselves in the good position, you know, when the other cars start pitting. Because with my strategy, I will only be doing 1 pit stop in the race, whereas I suspect that many of the others will be doing 2, as we have Raven now catching up to us again on the soft tyres, sticking his nose up at a pretty unusual spot on the track, but no contact made. And now though, Raven should be able to basically carbon copy the move that I did on O'Don on the previous lap, well actually a few laps ago at this point, as we're starting lap 6, and he does indeed. Raven flying past into 12th position, but he's clearly on a very, very different strategy to us, so we'll have to see how that turns out later in the race. Race Fanatic also on a comeback drive, setting the fastest lap of the race somewhere behind us, and Raven now pitting at the end of lap 7, and you can see a few more cars in the pits, actually several cars in the pits, so we are going to be picking up a lot of positions here. It was Nuka, Non-Runner and Sebi coming out of the pits just behind us as well, and those are the guys though who are battling for the lead at this point. Cool Cat going in the pits now as well in his Sauber. Don't know what strategy he's on to be honest, but either way we keep skipping through the race. There's not too much were happening with me, but we are now briefly up to 3rd place in the race due to pitters, but that's gonna drop down again with Berg coming past us, obviously having pitted already, Non-Runner coming past on the much faster tyres, and I'm pretty sure this is essentially the battle for the lead that is coming past us at the moment. And Tyranno Tigger, the dominant championship leader, just behind us as well, and I think he's got possibly Nuka for company back there. So as you can tell, I'm very much out of position against these guys who qualified towards the top of the field, whereas I qualified towards the back, and these guys also been on a fresher and better compound tyres. But well, all I can really do in this situation is try to make the best of it, which for me is to try and stick within a second of those two to at least get some DRS on the next lap. That's really all I can hope for at this point. Oh, and DRS on this straight as well, of course. I always forget that this short back straight has got some DRS action when you're within the second of the car ahead. But yeah, just coasting around through the 3rd sector, trying to not be put off by the championship leader Tyranno Tigger, sitting there just behind, and trying to keep it nice and clean. And there we go, onto the straight. We are within a second, so we are going to get the DRS, but obviously the guys behind are as well, and they've got a much better run out of the chicane on the better tyres. Tyranno Tigger going past. This is not really going past as fast as I thought he would, and Nuka comes in to make it 3 wide pretty much. I backed out of that one, didn't want any part of that. No point for me battling these guys too hard, but they're going to keep going side by side actually. Tigger though defending well on that occasion, but Nuka seemed to have so much speed on the straight there, probably helped by the double slipstream from both our 2 cars, but Tigger holding on to that one despite Nuka being on the mediums and he being on the hard tyres. So again for me it was all about just trying to stick within a second to get some more DRS advantage, but now on the end of lap 19 I was basically by myself ever since those guys went past, and now even actually some of them even went into the pits for the 2nd time before I went into the pits here for my first stop. And to be honest, I kind of wish that I could have just stayed out and tried to nurse these tyres until the end of the race. But unfortunately, because of the rules with the tyres, I have to make 1 pit stop in the race. I'm going to stick the medium tyres on to take me the final 14 laps until at the end, and you can just see all the cars coming past, down to 10th at the moment. Is anyone else going to come? It's Cool Cat behind. He was ahead of us when he went into the pits earlier in the race, so we actually managed to jump him by doing the overcut in the pits, which is unusual. That's good for me when obviously earlier in the race I was like 13th or 12th. Now I'm up in 10th after my one and only stop, So as long as we can avoid getting caught by someone, at least that won't get any worse, as we now have a yellow flag through the middle sector, and that is Berg von Trips sitting on the side of the track. We saw him coming past us in the battle for the lead earlier on, and something really, really bad has unfortunately happened to him. But that's another position for me, so I won't complain, and because of a few more pitters as well, I ended up in 7th position with only 8 laps to go in the race. However though, Nick B made a pretty late pit stop and was absolutely flying, was closing the gap so quick on the fresh soft tires. No chance for me to defend from him, so he just flew past on the DRS straight, and then surely we would go on to pull away and try and catch Kellon, his teammate, up ahead, and that is indeed what it did. I was just driving by myself, and as we're now starting the final lap of the race, until this point it was basically a lap time battle for me against Raven behind and Kellon ahead, and neither gap really changed too much in the last 5 or so laps. However, I had to be aware though of Sebi behind, who now is on the soft tires and ended up passing Raven at the start of this lap, and he was also closing super fast, even faster than Nick B was doing earlier. But I was able to keep the concentration up for the final lap here, and which should be enough to see me have a sufficient gap to defend from him. And there we go, he is a second or so back, as I'm now coming across the line to finish the race, the Spanish Grand Prix, in P8 out of 16 finishers or something. And yeah, Tigger unsurprisingly winning again, non-runner and Marco making his way up to the podium, and Nick B all the way up to 5th in the end, just ahead of my teammates, who also had a good comeback drive. Kellon was a few seconds ahead of me, and then Sebi and Raven were the two guys, well, the two last guys to get in the top 10. But that's how it is. It wasn't the most exciting race of the season for me, probably the least exciting so far this season, because the first 4 have been quite exciting, to be fair. But that's how it goes sometimes. Didn't have the best pace either, so I'll take 8th, a few points at least for the championship, but I have dropped down from 2nd to 4th in the drivers' standings, and in the team standings, luckily though, Renault holding on to 2nd place, but a very close battle with the Mercedes, who are looking like our constructor rivals at the moment. They're only 4 points behind us after the first 5 rounds. So that's how it stands. Next up, of course, we have the Monaco Grand Prix, a track that I absolutely love. Historically, I've done quite well there relative to sort of normal races during the season. However, at this point, I have actually not done a single lap around Monaco on F1 2016, and I don't know how much practice time I'll have over the next week going into this race. Probably not too much, but we will of course go into that race with quite a bit of excitement and try to do as best as we can. So hopefully you'll join me for the Monaco Grand Prix next time out. Thank you very much for watching this video as well. Drop a like if you're a super cool person or something, and yeah, I'll see you next time, guys. Cheers for watching, goodbye.